We're going to get started in just one moment. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to our December 2025 full council meeting. Tonight's meeting is being held in City Council chambers, is being streamed live on City 12 TV, as well as the City Council's YouTube and Facebook pages. We also continue to post meeting information and materials on the city's website. The meeting will now come to order, and ask the clerk to call the roll.
Councilmember Gruber. Councilmember Lightfoot.
Present, ma'am.
Councilmember Lupien.
Here.
Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Councilmember Monroe.
Here.
Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Councilmember Smith. Vice President Harris.
Here.
President Melendez.
Here.
Thank you.
So tonight I would like to ask the council to join me in a moment of silence for the victims of violence in recent weeks. We pause to honor the victims of the senseless mass shootings at Brown University and in Bondi, Australia, and the deaths of Rob and Michelle Reiner. These acts were driven by hatred, anti-Semitism, and addiction. These tragedies from around the world remind us locally that we must support and stand with the victims, their families, while we stand against hate. I'd also like to take the moment to have everyone please also reflect on the year that was, and any loved ones or family members or community members that you see fit to remember in their honor tonight as we embrace the holiday season. Let's all reaffirm that gun violence and hate have no place in this community. We urge the need for continued investment in substance abuse, substance use disorder, and mental health supports, and continue our commitment in the spirit of the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition to bridge safer communities for all Rochesterians. With that, I ask us to please take a moment of reflection and silence. Thank you. Councilmember Monroe, will you please lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? So there are no community recognitions this month. However, I would like to take a moment tonight to honor two of our colleagues who will be leaving City Council at the end of the term here on New Year's Eve. So tonight we have a very special recognition for council members Willie Lightfoot and Kimberly Smith, who have both served Rochester with dignity and pride, and I'm eager to see what comes next in each of your chapters as you move forward onto greener pastures or other things, whatever the case may be. But I want to say to each of you that you both have been great shining lights for our city. We've had tremendous opportunities to do a lot of things in the last 4 years, and I want to say to each of you from the council that we will greatly miss your presence here on the dais. With that, we will start the proclamation for Councilmember Lightfoot in honor of his service.
Whereas Willie J. Lightfoot has dutifully represented the constituents of the City of Rochester in his tenure as an at-large member of the Rochester City Council, which will end on December 31st, 2025, and
whereas Councilmember Lightfoot is a lifelong resident of Rochester, 12-year veteran of the United States Air Force, and retired City of Rochester firefighter, and
whereas, continuing a long history of civil service, Councilmember Lightfoot served 10 years as the Monroe County Legislature representative of the 27th District, and
whereas Councilmember Lightfoot, a longtime advocate against gun violence, established the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition in 2018, stewarding and growing the coalition into a regional powerhouse of advocacy and policy solutions, with efforts such as the Homicide Response Team and the 2023 Brady Gun Trace Data Report, living on as some of the coalition's greatest achievements thus far, and
whereas Councilmember Lightfoot is also a fixture of Rochester's business community, reinvesting in his community with his multi-purpose business development on Jefferson Avenue, including his barbershop, laundromat, and a local restaurant, and
whereas in 2020, Councilmember Lightfoot was appointed pastor of Praise Church of Life, where he will continue to serve Rochester through faith-based action and advocacy.
Whereas we recognize and greatly appreciate Councilmember Lightfoot's service to this council and to the Rochester community. And
Now, therefore, we, Council President L.A. Melendez Jr., Council Vice President Lashady Harris, and Council Members Mitch Gruber, Mary Lupian, Stanley Martin, Michael A. Patterson, Bridget A. Monroe, and Kim Smith of the Rochester City Council do hereby honor our colleague, Willie J. Lightfoot Sr. Willie. And Councilmember, I give you the floor if you'd like to make any remarks.
Thank you.
There you go. And now we will read a proclamation in honor of Councilmember Smith for her service on the council.
whereas Kim Smith has dutifully represented the constituents of the City of Rochester in her tenure as an at-large member of the Rochester City Council, which will end on December 31st, 2025, and
with a master of public administration from SUNY Brockport, Council Member Smith led a 25-year-long career in public service with the Monroe County Department of Public Health, and
whereas, before her departure from Monroe County, Councilmember Smith worked with the county's disease control unit, where she created and managed Monroe County Partnering to End the Epidemic, a coalition of people living with HIV and AIDS, who work alongside clinical and non-clinical organizations to strengthen access to HIV and AIDS care. And
whereas, currently, Councilmember Smith is the political director for Vocal New York, working directly with impacted individuals and elected officials to create policies that will end HIV, homelessness, the overdose crisis, and mass incarceration. And
whereas, as an at-large member of City Council, Councilmember Smith has served as the liaison for the Police Accountability Board and the Rochester Monroe Anti-Poverty Initiative. And
whereas Councilmember Smith has also served on the Rochester Housing Quality Task Force and participates in the 3x3x3 committee comprising 3 city council members, 3 Monroe County legislators, and 3 Rochester City School District Board commissioners. And
whereas we recognize and greatly appreciate Councilmember Smith's service to this council and the entire Rochester community. And
now, therefore, we, Council President Jr., Council Vice President Lashady Harris, and Council Mitch Gruber, Mary Lupian, Willie J. Stanley Martin, Michael A. Patterson, and Bridget A. Monroe of the City of Rochester hereby honor our colleague, Kim Smith. Councilmember Smith, if there's anything you'd like to say.
Following the wise and humble words of my colleague, Councilmember Lightfoot, thank you.
Thank you. All right, so for anyone that's here in chambers today, we actually will have a light reception, informal reception after, with cake in my office. So we welcome everyone who's here tonight to join us. And once again, thank you both. So next we have the approval of the minutes by Councilmember Harris.
Thank you, President Melendez. Resolved that the minutes of the regular meeting on November 18, 2025 be approved and published in the official sheets of the proceedings.
Thank you, Vice President. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
The following documents are hereby directed to be received and filed. The mayor submits the following: Grant Accounting Quarterly Report for the first quarter of fiscal year 2025, July 1st through September 30th. The council submits disclosure of interest forms from Councilmember Gruber on introductories number 431, 431A, 432, 441, and 455. Vice President Harris and Councilmember Lupien on introductory number 442.
Thank you. These documents will be received and filed. It's now time for the presentation and reference of petitions and any other communications. Are there any petitions? Hearing none, we will now move on to introduction of and action upon local laws, ordinances, and resolutions. Earlier this month, the mayor and I submitted a statement of necessity for introductory number 465, authorizing agreements for the receipt and use of a grant and for implementing the 2025 lead hazard control program. Per council rules, the council may vote on a resolution without reference or discharge from a committee when it is accompanied by a statement of necessity. So now I'll take a motion and a second to consider 465.
Move it.
Been
Second.
moved, seconded. All right, all in favor of considering 465, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Any discussion? Seeing none, we'll vote on introductory 465. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Chairperson Patterson, the Neighborhood Jobs and Housing Committee report, please.
Thank you. The Neighborhood Jobs and Housing Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 420, authorizing the sale of real estate. Introductory number 421, authorizing a lease agreement for 33 Capron Street. Introductory number 422, resolution approving and endorsing the City of Rochester's application to the New York State Homes and Community Renewal for funds under the Move In New York program. Introductory number 423, amending ordinance number 2025-285 related to the Upper Falls Rochester Police Department lease. Introductory number 425, approving an appropriation of Rochester Urban Renewal Agency funds and authorizing an agreement to reimburse a portion of the owner's cost for replacing an auto body shop displaced from 890 to 920 West Main Street for the Bull's Head Revitalization Project. Introductory number 426, authorizing a transfer of appropriations from other affordable housing projects to the Rochester Roots Single Family Homes Project, appropriating American Rescue Plan Act of 2021 funds previously appropriated to the project as replacement funding for some of the other affordable housing projects, and appropriating additional 2025-2026 annual action plan funds to the project, and amending prior ordinances and agreements to effectuate the transferred and original appropriations authorized herein. The Neighborhood Jobs and Housing Committee voted to hold the following entitled legislation in committee. Introductory number 424, amending the zoning map to change the zoning classification of 1225 Atlantic Avenue. Actually, we did not vote to hold that item in committee. If memory serves me correctly, we voted down. introductory number 425 in committee.
So it's the same effect. If
Okay.
if the committee votes no, it just remains in committee.
All right, just want to make sure. Just want to make that clarification. Okay, this report is respectfully submitted by council members Mitch Gruber, Kimberly Smith, Vice President Lachey D. Harris, Council Member, President Miguel A. Melendez Jr., and myself, Michael A. Patterson.
Thank you, Chairperson Patterson. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 420, authorizing the sale of real estate. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 421, authorizing lease agreement, 33 Kaplan Street. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 422, a resolution approving and endorsing the City of Rochester's application to New York State Homes and Community Renewal for funding other than Move-In New York program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 423, amending ordinance number 2025-285 relating to the Upper Falls Police Department lease. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
No.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Introductory number 425, approving an appropriation of Rochester Urban Renewal Agency funds and authorizing an agreement to reimburse a portion of the owner's cost for replacing an auto body shop displaced from 890 to 920 West Main Street for the Bull's Head Revitalization Project. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 426. Introductory number 426, authorizing the transfer of appropriations from the Affordable Housing Projects to the Rochester Roots Single Family Homes Project, appropriating American Rescue Plan Act funds of 2021, previously appropriated to the project as replacement funding for some of the other affordable housing projects, appropriating additional 2025-26 annual action plan funds to the project, and amending prior ordinances and agreements to effectuate the transfer and original appropriations authorized herein. Before we vote on this, we got to get these shorter. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Vice President Harris, the People, Parks, and Public Works Committee report, please.
Thank you, President Melendez. To the People, Parks and Public Works Committee recommends for the adoption of the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 427, authorizing agreement related to the Rochester Police Department Special Operations K-9 Tactical Storage Building. Introductory number 428, amending ordinance number 2024-177 related to the Minister Franklin D. Florence Civil Rights Park Project. Introductory number 429, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $470,000 of bonds of said city to finance the Maplewood Nature Center project. Introductory number 430, amending ordinance numbers 2021-400 and 2024-227, appropriating American Rescue Plan Act funds, authorizing a mandatory agreement for the Maplewood Nature Center project. Introductory number 431, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing issuance of $500,000 bonds of said city to finance the cost of the Rundell Memorial Library Terrace Evaluation and Repair Program. Introductory number 431A, authorizing an agreement relating to the Rundell Memorial Library Terrace Evaluation and Repair Program. Introductory number 432, authorizing mandatory agreements for the Rundell Memorial Library exterior building envelope repairs project and City Hall building a window, heat pump, and envelopes improvements, phases 1B and C projects as amended. Introductory number 433, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of the $3,700,000 bonds of said city to finance the 2025 annual parking garage repair and reconstruction project. Introductory number 434, authorizing an amendatory agreement in relation to resident project representation services for the 2025 annual parking garage evaluation and repair project as amended. Introductory number 435, authorizing a mandatory agreement relating to the City Mark Capital Art Project. Introductory number 439, authorizing an agreement with Thieler Engineering PC relating to the Interloop North Project Labor Agreement Services. Introductory number 440, authorizing agreement to related to the Climate Action Plan updates. Introductory number 441, authorizing a license agreement with Action for a Better Community. Introductory number 442, authorizing a mandatory agreement related to the Summer Food Service Program. Introductory number 443, authorizing an agreement for the Shelter Feeding Program Animal Services. Introductory number 444, authorizing an agreement for automatic teller services at the Rochester Public Market and International Plaza. Introductory number 445, authorizing the intermunicipal agreement and amending the 2025-26 budget related to the Rochester Monroe County Youth Bureau Middle School Sports. Introductory number 446, authorizing an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Monroe for Rochester Monroe County Youth Bureau. And introductory number 447, authorizing a master license agreement with Bell Atlantic Mobile Systems LLC, DBA Verizon Wireless. The People, Parks, and Public Works Committee recommends for consideration the following entitled legislation. Introductory number 437, approving payment with changes and changing the traffic flow on Stone Street. Introductory number 438, amending the official map related to the 2004 West Ridge Road Public Improvement Project. The People, Parks, and Public Works Committee recommends the following entitled legislation to be held in committee. Introductory number 436, authorizing appropriations and agreement related to the North Clinton Ave Milling and Resurfacing Project. This report is respectfully submitted by Councilmember Willie J. Lightfoot, Councilmember Mary Lupian, Councilmember Michael A. Patterson, President Miguel A. Melendez Jr., and myself, Lachey D. Harris.
Thank you, Vice President Harris. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we will proceed with the vote. Introductory number 427, authorizing an agreement related to the Rochester Police Department Special Operations K-9 Tactical Storage Building. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 428, amending ordinance number 2024-177 relating to the Minister Franklin D. Florence Civil Rights Park Project. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber.
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot.
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe.
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith. Vice President Harris.
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Introductory number 429, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $470,000 bonds of said city to finance the Maplewood Nature Center project. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber.
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot.
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe.
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith. Vice President Harris.
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Introductory number 430, amending ordinance numbers 2021-400 and 2024-227, appropriating American Rescue Plan Act funds, authorizing a mandatory agreement for the Maplewood Nature Center project. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber.
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot.
Yes.
Councilmember Lupian.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe.
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith. Vice President Harris.
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Introductory number 431, A bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $500,000 bonds of said city to finance the costs of the Rundell Memorial Library Terrace Evaluation and Repair Program. There's a disclosure for this item and also on 431A and 432. Councilmember Gruber is a liaison to the Library Board from the council. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupien,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Introductory number 431A, authorizing an agreement relating to the Rundell Memorial Library Terrace Evaluation and Repair Program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 432, authorizing a mandatory agreements for the Rundell Memorial Library Exterior Building Envelope Repairs Project and City Hall Building A window, heat pump, and envelope improvements, phases 1B and 1C projects as amended. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 433, a bond ordinance of the City of Rochester, New York, authorizing the issuance of $3,700,000 bonds of said city to finance the 2025 annual parking garage repair and reconstruction project. This requires a roll call.
Councilmember Gruber,
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
Yes.
Councilmember Lupien,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Introductory number 434, authorizing a mandatory agreement in relation to the resident project representation services for the 2025 annual parking garage evaluation and repair project as amended. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 435, authorizing a mandatory agreement related to the City Mark Capital Art Project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 437, approving pavement width changes and changing the traffic flow on Stone Street. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 438, amending the official map relating to the 2004 West Ridge Road Public Improvement Project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 439, authorizing an agreement with the Sealer Engineering, PC, related to Interloop North Project Labor Agreement Services. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 440, authorizing an agreement related to Climate Action Plan updates. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 441, authorizing a license agreement with Action for a Better Community. There is one disclosure on this item. Councilmember Gruber is appointed to the ABC Board as a representative of council, but he's only required to disclose this information and may participate in deliberation and the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 442, authorizing a mandatory agreement related to the Summer Food Service Program. There are two disclosures on this item. Council Vice President and Council Member Lupien are employees of RCSD, but they're only required to disclose the information and may participate in deliberations and the vote. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 443, authorizing an agreement for a shelter feeding program for animal services. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 444, authorizing an agreement for automated teller services at the Rochester Public Market and the International Plaza. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 445, authorizing an intermunicipal agreement and amending the 2025-26 budget related to the Rochester Monroe County Youth Bureau Middle School Sports. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introduction number 446, authorizing an intermunicipal agreement with the County of Monroe for the Rochester Monroe County Youth Bureau. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introduction number 447, authorizing a master license agreement with Bell Atlantic Mobile Systems, LLC, DBA Verizon Wireless. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Vice President Harris, do you have a motion related to introduction number 436, authorizing appropriations and agreement related to the North Clinton Avenue Milling and Resurfacing Project?
President Melendez, yes, I would like to make a motion to discharge introductory number 436 from committee. Can I have a second?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded, so let's vote on discharging the item from committee. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Any further discussion on the item? Councilmember Patterson.
Thank you. This item was held at my request, and I appreciate that item being held. I had a fruitful and productive meeting with the folks from DES where we discussed some other concerns on North Clinton, specifically related to this project. They will be getting back to me on the feasibility of making those changes. The two changes that we discussed in particular were the area by immediately adjacent to Don Samuel Torres Park, where the sidewalk is going to be expanded and a bike lane is going to be included. Currently we have bollards there to keep people from parking. DES is going to be looking into finding a way to ensure that no one will be able to park in those bike lanes and create an opportunity for folks to hang out there. So I do appreciate that. At Avenue A in North Clinton, the traffic signal is going to be removed. I am very concerned about speeding in that area and opening up the street where it will just get faster. One of the things that they will be looking at is the feasibility of a raised sidewalk in that location to replace the signal that's coming out. So I appreciate the opportunity to have a conversation to look at these issues, you know, and I appreciate the good work that the folks at DES do, especially the folks in design.
Thank you, Councilmember. Any additional discussion? All right, so now we'll vote on introductory number 436. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Chairperson Gruber, the Budget, Finance, and Governance Committee report, please.
To the Council, the Budget, Finance, and Governance Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introduction number 448, authorizing an amendatory agreement relating to legal services for the Our Future Fund Children's Savings Account Program. Introduction number 449, authorizing an amendatory agreement related to development of an cultural for the county. Introduction number 450, authorizing grant agreement and amending the 25-6 budget related to the development of a master plan. Introduction 50, authorizing a Numbers in Action grant program. Introduction 53, authorizing the cancellation and refund of county's taxes and charges. Number 44, authorizing an agreement with Lifetime Benefit Solutions Incorporated related to flexible benefit plans administration. Number 455, amending the 25-26 budget related to the Area Community Foundation grant. Introduction 456, a resolution approving an appointment to the Downtown Enhancement District Advisory Council. Introduction 57, authorizing an agreement related to representation and employment matters as amended. Introduction number 459, a local law amending the city charter with respect to the salary of the mayor. Introduction number 460, local law amending the city charter with respect to the salary of members of the city. The Budget, Finance, and Governance Committee recommends the following legislation to be held in committee. Introduction number 452, designating an updated official flag for the city of Rochester. And introduction number 458, amending the municipal code with respect to towing and storage fees. This report was respectfully submitted by Councilmember Stanley Martin, Councilmember Bridget Monroe, Council Vice President Lachey Harris, Council President Miguel Melendez, and myself, Mitch Gruber.
Thank you, Chairperson Gruber. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we will proceed with the vote. Introductory number 448, authorizing the mandatory agreement related to legal services for the Our Future Fund Children's Savings Account Program. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 449, authorizing the mandatory agreement related to development of an arts and culture plan for the city and county. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 450, authorizing grant agreement and amending the 2025-26 budget relating to the development of a Parks and Recreation Master Plan. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 451, authorizing the mandatory agreement to implement a Neighbors in Action grant program. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 453, authorizing the cancellation or refund of erroneous taxes and charges. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 454, authorizing an agreement with Lifetime Benefit Solutions Incorporated related to flexible benefit plans administration. Councilmember Martin.
So, Deputy Mayor, at the last meeting, you said you would answer my question in writing, and I never received an answer.
Yep, so unfortunately we had somebody out unexpectedly who I wanted to confer with on that answer, so we'll get that to you shortly.
So in this moment, you don't know whether there will be the $1,000 allocation to city workers, or are you just choosing not to tell me now? I want to be clear. Which one is it? Do you know or do you don't know?
I want to clarify the response, and so if you'll allow me to appreciate it.
Can you let me know when? Because it's been over 2 weeks.
Yes. Wait.
Well, when can you give me an answer?
This week.
This week, thank you.
Any further discussion on that item? All right, hearing none, we will move to a vote. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introduction of 455, amending the 2025-26 budget related to the Rochester Area Community Foundation. There is one disclosure. Again, that Councilmember Gruber is a member of the Library Board, but he may participate, deliberate in the vote. In favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 456, a resolution approving an appointment to the Downtown Enhancement District Advisory Council. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 457, authorizing a mandatory agreement related to representation in certain employment matters as amended. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 459, a local law amending the city charter with respect to the salary of the mayor. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Oh, excuse me, this is a roll call vote.
Councilmember Gruber.
Yes.
Councilmember Lightfoot.
Yes.
Councilmember Lupien.
Yes.
Councilmember Martin.
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe.
Yes.
Councilmember Patterson.
Yes.
Councilmember Smith. Vice President Harris.
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes.
Thank you.
Motion carries. Introductory number 460, a local law amending the city charter with respect to the salary of the members of the city council.
President Melendez?
Councilmember Patterson.
I'd like to offer an amendment to this item.
Certainly. So would you, is that amendment seconded?
I second it.
But
What is the
I
amendment?
think I need to pass it out first.
So let's
Good point.
hand out the amendment
Okay.
so council members can
Is there a copy of the amendment for the administration too? Great.
So, Councilmember, as you make your way back, I'd ask that if you could explain the amendment in the record before we second it and move to a vote on that.
Absolutely. So I am offering an amendment to increase the salary of council members. For the last 16 years, the Rochester City Council, in addition to setting the salary increase for the mayor, the yearly salary increase for the mayor, has also set its own salary increase. We usually, and we have consistently done this every 4 years. 4 years ago we did it. Prior to the start of a new mayoral right after the at-larges are voted in and the mayor is voted in, our normal practice and procedure is to set that number. The difference this year is that instead of proposing the standard 3% increase, we're proposing an increase of a flat dollar amount increase from the proposed $41,413 to $50,000. The reason why I am making this proposal and this recommendation, given that 4 years ago I voted against a council increase, is that quite frankly, over the last 4 years, this council has stepped up. It's done significantly more work. It's taken seriously its commitment to being a co-equal branch of government. We've increased our staffing. We're doing more work. We're meeting the needs. I believe we were meeting the needs of the people before, but I believe that we're doing even more work now. I believe that we'll continue to increase our workload as we go forward. I understand that for some folks, this may seem outrageous, and yet I don't believe so. I believe that we should make this change now because this is the normal cycle when we do make salary increases. This does not preclude us from going forward and conducting a compensation review, not just for city council and the mayor, but for all of our staff positions, if that's what we choose to do. But this is the time when we set salaries for the mayor and for city council. And so I think this is the time to make this change.
Is there a second on the amendment?
Second.
It's been seconded, so we'll vote on the amendment and then we'll open up for further discussion. So all in favor, actually we'll roll call the vote.
Councilmember Gruber,
No.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
No.
Councilmember Lupian,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
No.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith, Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
No. All right, so I'll open this up for discussion. I guess I'll start in reaction to some of the stuff Councilmember Patterson led off with. I do think that this is something we should evaluate as a community and as a city. On merit, I understand that we have some compression issues in our department. We certainly have an issue where our legislative aides are very close to council member salaries, and we should be evaluating that. I would be in favor of looking at a commission or a study of some kind to spend some energy on this. I think that when other legislative bodies have pursued this, they've consulted with outside support to really evaluate and look at benchmarking and understanding. With that being said, I will continue as we go to the general vote on this. I will be a no vote. I don't think that while I understand and appreciate where the council member is on this one, I do think that the process for this just doesn't feel right to me, given that we moved this out of committee, moved it forward to this point, and we're amending it here now. I just don't think that I'm in a position to vote for that. So I'll open up for further discussion. Councilmember Lupian, followed by Councilmember Lightfoot, followed by Councilmember Martin.
Yeah, I agree with the salary increase, and some of you may have remembered 4 years ago, I also argued for a salary increase. Actually, was it 4 years ago? Because I think we also every other, we decline a salary increase. Anyways, it was very minimal. It was the 3%, and we decided not to raise it. And the reason that I stated then and the reason that I state now is if we want this to be a professional position, we have to pay enough so that someone from the community can take this job. Because I did try to do this job, and I think it should be full-time. I think that the work in this community is so dire, and the work of this body is so serious, and we previously hadn't been taking it seriously as a co-equal branch of government, and we are heading on that path now. And it is very important that council members do not need to have another full-time job, as most of us do, in order to make ends meet. On the salary of this job alone, I can't make my monthly bills. I have to have another job. And that takes my time and energy away from the work of this body. And I think that this is a very nominal increase. When you look at council members in other cities like Buffalo, they're making $70,000 and above, and it is considered a full-time job. I would like us to accept this increase and then do the review, because yes, our part-time aides almost make as much as we do, and they did 4 years ago, and I mentioned that. So I'm really happy that we're talking about it now. There's many things on this body that I don't agree with the process, and it goes through anyways. So just to say the process wasn't followed correctly, that only applies to some of us. So I am very in support of this, and I hope my colleagues will consider it.
Councilmember Lightfoot.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. President. Very briefly, appreciate the amendment. First of all, with the process coming from the county legislature with $18,000 that the county legislature I think it may have gone up since then, but nonetheless, when I came into public service, I came into it understanding that it was not a full-time job, and that it would basically, but in this position through the city council, not only are we giving a staff, which I thought was amazing coming out of the county legislature, because you have at that time 14 legislators, and then you had only maybe 3 or 4 staff members who worked for all of the entire body. Then coming here and then receiving a aide was amazing, incredible to me, as well as full-time benefits for employees. And I think very few municipalities have the benefits that the city of Rochester offer, which is very amazing benefits that we are accustomed to as being part-time city councilmen, but we're receiving full-time benefits, Medicare, medical benefits, etc. So I thought that was incredible too. And knowing what I was getting into, the point that was made by the maker of the amendment, Councilmember Patterson, I still agree with the way when we didn't vote for it before 4 years ago for the same reasons. And matter of fact, actually the argument really doesn't make sense, because we had less staff then. We have more staff now dedicated to each and every one of our committees. Our staff does an amazing job. We were doing more with less before, and with the same amount of money, less money, because we got a 3% increase. And I think the 3% increase is respectable, and I think that's doable, and I would vote for that. But the increase that's being presented here today, without really due process as far as looking at how this impacts everyone, I'm going out. So I mean, and maybe that's why I didn't get any information about this. But I'm gonna vote no, because I think we have more staff is available to council than ever before. So the workload has been distributed. I think the 3% is reasonable. You have people, and me being into the 2nd and 4th poorest zip codes in our state, where people's their income isn't going up at all. They're struggling day to day to make ends meet. We knew what we were getting into when we got into this, and I think it'd be disingenuous to just arbitrarily just put this number out there to increase people's salary on council when we have our citizens that are struggling in some of the worst neighborhoods ever, and they're not given an opportunity for their income to go up at all. So I could not, in good conscience, especially going out, vote for something like this. I think it's the timing of it is horrible in the financial climate that we're living in today, especially even the financial climate that the city of Rochester is in now. Right? We're not in the same space that we were with ARPA dollars. We're not in the same space with the federal government and potential monies that could be taken from us at any given moment. We're just in an unstable environment. If this was my church, if this was my family, if this was my business, I would be very conservative of how I would conduct business financially at this time due to this unstable financial environment that we're currently up against. So because of that, I will be voting no for this amendment.
Councilmember Martin.
Yeah, I just want to point out a few things. In the state retirement system, there's an expectation that council members are working a minimum of 30 hours a week. Many of us work more than that. We are out in the community meeting with constituents. We are reviewing and sometimes writing our own legislation, conducting our own research, and dealing with very complicated problems that go way beyond 30 hours a week. Currently, we're paid around $40,000, which is not a livable wage. When I first started this job, it was my hope that I would be able to do this full time, but I quickly realized that I couldn't afford to live on a $40,000 salary. That is also what many of our community members live with, and they also struggle to make ends meet, just like I do on this amount. So I think it's so difficult, right, for folks to advocate for the wage they deserve. My labor is important, my labor matters, just like the labor of everyone else on this committee. So I don't think this number is outrageous or outlandish. In fact, this number is so reasonable that the president makes this exact amount of money. So it's someone already on this body makes $50,000 a year. So again, it's just making it so that everyone makes an equitable wage. In other departments, committee heads make an extra amount of money. People who take on various roles outside of the regular day-to-day work of council make an additional salary. So what we're asking for here is a number we already see within this body. It's not a number out of left field. We know it's possible to make this amount because someone here already makes this amount. And I think I'm really proud of folks for advocating for a livable wage. Again, it's never easy to talk about, but this amount is something I support. I think it's reasonable. I think it's fair. And I think folks who are finally listening when folks on this body are saying, hey, we are struggling to make ends meet. Many of us do not have the privilege of being senior executives or in high levels in different nonprofit organizations where you can make up to $100,000 a year and then do this part-time. For a lot of us, we're working class folks. Folks are teachers. Folks drive and provide transportation. A lot of people here are still within the working class, and I think we deserve a fair wage.
All right, we got Councilmember Gruber followed by Councilmember Smith.
Thanks. Before I talk about my feelings and opinions about this, I just have a question for Corporation Counsel and maybe for the Budget Office as well. Typically, we don't add lines to people's salaries outside of budget, well, even during budget, without finding offsetting revenues for them. So, what is the legality of this?
So I'll let Suzanne speak to the budgeting issues. The actual legislation amends language in the charter that sets those salaries. And Suzanne can get into this more, but unlike other situations where now we have a new program that wasn't budgeted for, we have to do a budget amendment, we have to find the revenues. Salaries work differently in the kind of grand scheme, so I'll turn it over to budget for that piece.
We do budget for the 3% increase on a yearly basis. So each budget includes the 3%, and it's just the entire budget of City Council, City Clerk, and PAB would need to stay within budget in order to be in accordance with the city charter.
Got it. So we would have to just, so in theory, from what you both just said, we could theoretically increase the salary of council members to $1 million each, as long as we then found the revenue elsewhere to within the city council and clerk budget, where we are still at budget. There's no line or threshold where this must become a referendum or a communication or an opportunity for the public to weigh in. That's all up to us.
So I think your hypothetical may not quite work. I think it's probably got to be within the budget already set. But there's latitude in there, and I think what Director Warren is saying is that as long as council and clerk stays within budget altogether, the salary, yes, can be changed.
Okay. I think this is just unbelievably irresponsible. I think it's the opposite of good government. I think if any other elected body was doing this, everyone on this stage would be furious. There is a process for this. I'm not disagreeing with anyone's perspective about the pay of council. It was arbitrarily set at one point many, many years ago. And if people think that the number is wrong, then we should go through a process to fix it. A process that legislative bodies do include having a commission set up so that we can benchmark other cities, so that we can think about the reality of our existing budget, so that we can solicit feedback from our bosses, aka the taxpayers who vote us in all the time. We've done none of these things. In fact, I was just up here on stage the other day during committee meeting saying this is just a cost of living allowance. And that if, in fact, we wanted to do something beyond a cost of living allowance, we ought to talk to the public about it. And I completely echo Councilmember Lightfoot's opinion, but I would go one step further and talk about the people in this very room. We have city departments who are being asked to make some hard decisions right now. We're coming off of the biggest infusion of dollars to a municipality ever, the American Recovery Plan Act. And every city, including ours, is going to have some budgetary challenges this year. And it may seem like a small amount of money, but we're talking about a 20% raise. There's not a single employee in City Hall who is getting a 10% raise. Suzanne, can you verify that for me? Is there any employee in City Hall who gets a 10% raise?
No.
And we're asking to give ourselves a 20% raise right now without any process whatsoever. If people think $50,000 is the right salary for a council member, let's have a commission, let's talk about it, let's go through the regular process, and come June at budget time, let's vote on it then and give the public a chance to weigh in. But anything that does not follow through with that process can only be described as irresponsible in the most generous way possible. And I beg of my colleagues to please vote this down, and if they don't, Mayor, I beg of you to veto it.
Councilmember Smith?
Yes, I certainly understand all of the frustration around process, but I do not.
Councilmember, can you make sure the mic, we can't hear you. I don't know if it's.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, thank you.
So I certainly understand and value all of the conversation and complications regarding the process. I do not believe that process should stand in the way of progress. Given our current political climate, our communities are in need. And in order for council members to continue to rise to that need, they must be able to sustain themselves. And so I am voting yes for this for the same reason that I vote yes on other budget items. And I vote yes to improve community services, to improve long-term growth, and to improve and uplift community values.
Thank you. Any final council member or vice president?
So I'd like to note that the last time this came through, I voted against it. And, you know, we spent the the last 4 years working very hard at trying to make our city government run better. And I would argue that, you know, I understand the process. Everybody keeps saying process. But there are many colleagues across this state who have made those changes, those progressive moves to increase the salaries of government officials. County legis did it. New York State Assembly members just did it. And we're now doing, and we just recently seen, like in years past, where even the sheriffs got a raise. So I am for keeping our government moving in aggressive mode. Councilmember Lupien said something to me that kind of said something to the effect that other council members across the nation are full-time. And that is true, they are full-time. I'm not sure if we're there at that point where our city council members could be full-time, but I could tell you that the work is full-time work. Right now, the work of a city council member is full-time. Full-time work for part-time pay. And that's what it's been. So, I mean, I think this is a very modest amount of money. We spent more money on reading last summer, on reading for our children last summer. And it was a very good investment. And I don't think it's wrong to invest in our leaders. And it's a modest investment. To be honest, if you figure that out, it's, please confirm, this is within our PAB and city council budget this year? Okay, so it's within budget. It's modest.
All right, we will move to unless there's any other additional comment, move to a roll call vote. Before we do that, I just want to note that last time this came up as an amendment 4 years ago, I voted yes on the amendment at that time for the 3% increase. But that was because there was an equity between the mayor at that time getting a 3% increase and council not getting a 3% increase. So that was the issue we had last time before us. But with that, we'll move to
Can I
a roll
clarify
call.
something? What are we voting on? Because is it amended?
It's amended. It's actually we're voting on it to be amended. We did a motion and a second.
And then we voted.
And then we voted on the amendment. So now the amendment is on the floor.
Okay, wait.
We're voting on it as amended. Is that
We're voting on it as amended.
Yeah, because you never actually said it passed. You went straight into comments. So the amendment passed.
The amendment passed.
And now we're voting on
The
this
item
legislation as amended.
Yes.
Okay.
All right, so we're voting on introductory number 460 as amended. Roll call vote.
Councilmember Gruber,
No.
Councilmember Lightfoot,
no?
Councilmember Lupien,
Yes.
Councilmember Martin,
Yes.
Councilmember Monroe,
No.
Councilmember Patterson,
Yes.
Councilmember Smith,
Yes.
Vice President Harris,
Yes.
President Melendez.
Yes. I mean, excuse me, no. Let me clarify that, no. Another follow-up question, Corporation Counsel. Council members individually are within their rights to decline the raise. Is that accurate?
That's yes. They can decline the entire salary if they want.
Understood. On the record, I'll be declining the raise. We'll move forward to
I just really need to say,
introductory.
just real quick,
Yes.
President, you make $50,000 already. You know, we're just it's now more equitable with us making
Councilmember,
the same.
I understand. I
just want to clarify that there's no raise to decline because you already make $50,000.
In this
so
instance,
that's
it would move me to 60. So I'm declining the increase is what I'm on the record saying. I'm declining the increase. With that being said, I just because it was raised, other legislative bodies for their leadership pay a lot more in terms of the stipend that comes with that. I could tell you that I earn every single penny of that additional increase. So to say that there's some inequity there, I don't want to. I don't suggest that there is an inequity there because this is what other legislative bodies do as well. But I will say that, as I mentioned in my initial remarks, I believe the merit's there. I think we should be studying this, and I'm going to go in that direction following this. But I do want to move us to introductory number 452. So we have this item in committee. This is related to the official flag for the city of Rochester. So Councilmember Gruber, do you have a motion to discharge that introductory?
I'd like to make a motion to discharge introduction number 452 from committee. Can I have a second?
It's been moved and seconded. Let's vote on discharging the item from committee. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. All right. On this item, I do want to bring up that I have an amendment that I've laid out in front of the council members here. This amendment simply takes the proposed flag and restores the original, or what we all know to be the flag that's actually behind me, with Flower City, City of Rochester, New York, in a particular text. So I would like to propose this amendment to the council. Is there a second?
Second.
All right, it's been seconded. Any further discussion on the amendment before we vote on amending it? Council Vice President.
Yes. If we adopt this flag, what would be the application that would mean that we would have to add anything to our, like, will we have to add anything to our marketing budget to adopt this flag?
So my understanding to the administration is probably not. This flag is the flag that is currently flying right behind me and in other places. So I think it would have been the opposite if we adopted the flag that was proposed.
Thank you.
Any additional questions?
Yeah.
Council Member Martin?
Yeah, I appreciate you bringing this forth. After we had the discussion, I drove around the city, and this is the flag I saw all around, outdoors with the lettering. So I do appreciate us working together on moving this forward. It seems like we're all on the same page, so I appreciate you making the change.
Thank you. All right, so we'll vote on the amendment. All in favor of the amendment, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. So now we will vote on introductory number 452 as amended. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Chairperson Gruber, do you have a motion related to introductory number 458?
Yes, I'd like to make a motion to discharge introduction number 458 from committee. Can I have a second?
Second.
That's been moved and seconded. All in favor of discharging introductory 458 from committee, please say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Any questions, comments, concerns, discussion? Seeing none, we'll move to vote on introductory number 458. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Chairperson Lightfoot, the Public Safety Committee report, please.
Yes, Mr. President, to the Council, the Public Safety Committee recommends for adoption the following title legislation: introduction number 461, authorizing intermunicipal agreements and amending the 2025-2026 budget for the 2026.
Council members, the mic on? Sorry, dude.
Oh, okay, there we go. Is that better?
Yes.
All right. For the Stop DWI 2025 High Visibility Engagement Campaign Programs. Introductory number 463, a resolution appointing a member of the Police Accountability Board. And introduction number 464, a resolution authorizing a city council liaison to the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition, respectfully submitted by Councilmember Mitch Gruber, Councilmember Mary Lupien, Councilmember Stanley Martin, Councilmember Bridget Monroe, Councilmember Michael Patterson, Councilmember Kim Smith, Councilmember Vice President Lachey Harris, and Council President Miguel Melendez Jr., and myself, Willie J. Lightfoot.
Thank you, Chairperson Lightfoot. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number 461, authorizing intermunicipal agreements and amending the 2025-26 budget for the 2026 Stop DWI and 2025 High Visibility Engagement Campaign programs.
President Melendez.
Yes.
I'd like to make
Council
a comment.
Vice President.
I'd like to make a comment about this. I just want to, before we vote, if it's possible.
Yes, please. The floor is yours.
So I just want to put awareness that I support the Stop DWI campaign. In 2022, April, my Uncle Milton was killed from a DWI driver. We need to support campaigns such as this, and I like to put out awareness because there are many other folks who've lost their loved ones in that situation too. And I'm just hoping that we continue to find ways to prevent DWI. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President. So we'll move to a vote on introductory 461. All in favor, please say aye.
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 Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 463, a resolution appointing a member of to the Police Accountability Board. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Introductory number 464, a resolution authorizing a city council liaison to the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition.
President Melendez.
Vice President?
Can I please make a comment on this one as
Yes,
well?
please.
I'd like to acknowledge my colleague, Willie J. Lightfoot, for his steadfast dedication to the Rock Against Gun Violence Coalition. This is a man who has dedicated his life to serving our city as a firefighter first, and then eventually as a legislator. I like to put out here that he is blazed a trail where he was one of the first public safety professionals to become a legislator in this town, in this city. And he blazed the trail for many folks like myself who followed his footsteps. You have big shoes to fill, and I want to honor you in your work in the Rock Against Gun Violence. Many of us, including myself, have lost countless of loved ones to gun violence in this community. Gun violence is not just a threat, it's a public health problem. And he has taken this seriously to the point where often there are many times that he is here in meetings, and it's not that many people when he first started, but it has grown to this huge coalition. And I've watched you grow this thing from infancy to where it's at today. And I'm proud to call you my colleague. And I'm also proud that you allowed me to be a part of that growth. And, you know, many would argue, you know, other things about why or whatever, but the reality is you did this thing called the coalition with the help of many, and you will continue that work. And I want to say Godspeed.
Thank you, Vice President. I don't have as long of a tenure with Willie, and I wasn't there in the very beginning of the coalition work. But when I came on, I can tell you that I knew that the fire that Willie had for trying to figure out how to prevent homicides in our city and how to work with young people and others to make sure that that message of a shot from a gun can't be undone gets to all audiences across the city. And one quick story, this past weekend, Saturday night into Sunday, probably 2 o'clock in the morning, I had a few gunshots right outside my window. You know, I called it in right away, but, you know, the first thing I thought about was, man, this is the work that must continue. We can never stop until we don't have, till we get to a point where we don't have these things happening in our community. So this resolution, I think, is symbolic in many ways of the continued commitment of this council, but also the continued support from this council to you and the work that you will continue to do. And we appreciate your service once again. All right, so we will move to vote on the resolution 464. All in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. I will now read the Committee of the Whole report. To the Council, the Committee of the Whole recommends the following entitled legislation to be held in committee. Introductory number 462, resolution confirming the appointment of the Commissioner of the Department of Environmental Services. This report was respectfully submitted by Council members Mitch Gruber, Willie J. Lightfoot, Mary Lupian, Stanley Martin, Bridget Monroe, Michael A. Patterson, Kim Smith, Vice President Harris, and myself, Miguel A. Melendez Jr. So that report will be received, filed, and published, and we will proceed with the vote. Actually, we will proceed with asking for this to be discharged from committee. So introductory number 462, Can I have a second on discharging that from committee? It's been seconded. So we'll vote on discharge on introductory number 462. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Any further discussion on the item?
I'd just like to say one thing.
Council Vice President.
I'd like to say congratulations.
An early congratulations. Any additional comment? All right. So we'll vote on adopting introductory number 462. I need a motion and a second on adopting.
Move it.
It's been moved, seconded. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Commissioner Conte, congratulations, sir. So the council meeting is now adjourned and we'll proceed to the rural meeting. The meeting of the Rochester Urban Renewal Agency will now come to order, and I ask the clerk to call the roll.
Agent Councilmember Gruber. Agent Councilmember Lightfoot. Agent Councilmember Lupien.
Here.
Agent Councilmember Martin.
Here.
Agent Councilmember Monroe.
Here.
Agent Councilmember Patterson.
Here.
Agent Councilmember Smith. Agent Vice President Harris.
Here.
Agent President Melendez.
Here.
Thank you.
Agent Patterson, the Rural Resolution Review Committee report, please.
Give me a minute. I got to dig it back out.
We got you.
Thank you. All right. The Rural Resolution Review Committee recommends for adoption the following entitled legislation. Introductory number URA 9, resolution appropriating $175,000 to reimburse a portion of the owner's cost for replacing an auto body shop displaced from 890 through 920 West Main Street for the Bull's Head Revitalization Project. This report is respectfully submitted by agents Mitch Gruber, Kimberly Smith, Vice President Lachey D. Harris, Agent President Miguel A. Melendez Jr., and myself, Agent Michael A. Patterson.
Thank you, Chairperson Patterson, or Agent Patterson in this case. That report will be received, filed, and published, and we'll proceed with the vote. Introductory number URA 9, a resolution appropriating $175,000 to reimburse a portion of the owner's costs for replacing an auto body shop displaced from 890 to 920 West Main Street for the Bull's Head Revitalization Project. All in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. Chief of Staff, I believe you have one item to share.
I do, but it was more just first of all, on behalf of the staff, to thank our outgoing council members, Councilmember Lightfoot and Councilmember Smith. We certainly have all appreciated working with you, and we appreciate your service and your leadership. I also wanted to say another thank you, and one that hasn't been said yet tonight, but we've all had the pleasure of working with two council aides who will also be leaving their positions as aides, both Andre Gully and Marion Grant Smith. And I know all of us on the council central staff have been richer professionally for having had the chance to work with them and call them colleagues. And they both have worked very hard and given committed service to both council members Lightfoot and Councilmember Smith, but also to the citizens of Rochester. So I just wanted to thank and commend both Marion Grant Smith and Andre Gully for their great work to City Council and the City of Rochester and our neighbors. And also, Merry Christmas and thank you to all the council on behalf of staff.
Yes. Thank you. Councilmember Patterson.
So I know the two outgoing council members were given an opportunity to make some closing comments, and it's my hope that before you leave today, you will actually give us some parting thoughts, because historically, leaving council members make some kind of statement. So I know y'all passed before, and if you pass again, that's fine, but you know, you have been valued colleagues. And if you have any parting words that you want to share with us, I would really like to hear them. Okay.
I would just leave by saying that
Microphone. We want to hear it.
First, we need new microphones. Second, I would have to say that this is one of the hardest jobs I have ever held in my life. And I compliment all of you for everything that you do and how you show up and your why for showing up. I appreciate the community for putting me in this position, trusting me with their voice and their value. I appreciate council staff. I don't think any of us here on the dais could be as successful as we are without all of you. And when I say all of you, I mean Joe. I'm talking about just the entire team. My partner is out there who has been extremely supportive of me. So I must say thank you to Robin Laverne. And just, again, my community service did not begin with council, and it certainly will not end here. Keep doing what you do, and I appreciate all of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep this very, very brief. Only because Kim did that, right? So she put me in a situation. It's very, very difficult. Thank you, Mike, for the opportunity. Just reiterating the opportunity. It's very, very difficult, ladies and gentlemen, to try to surmise 30 years of public service, 20 years as an elected official. That's a long time. Been through many eras, and I've been through a lot of variations. My first committee, Democratic Committee convention, was at the War Memorial. So that just goes to show you how far back I go and how different things were. And I wore a tuxedo, by the way, and I didn't look like I was an elephant in the room. It was normal. And the convention and the War Memorial was full. So I've been through a lot in this business of politics. Some may say politricks. But what I can say is that I want to take this opportunity to thank my wife and my children, who I'm a PK kid, so my father was an elected official. I know this. I never wanted to do this because of what it took from me. And my father passed very young at 60. And so coming upon this, I know what it did to my family. Many of my colleagues leave, whether they were forced out, whether they, with scandal or trouble, or lose their families. Many have lost their families as a result of this business. And my family is still intact after 30 plus years. So I want to thank God for giving me the opportunity. I want to thank my wife and my children for their sacrifice. I want to thank the citizens of Rochester for entrusting in me and allowing me for several decades to serve this community on behalf of them. And I never forgot that. And I think if I leave with anything, it's just to never forget that we don't work for the mayor. We don't work for the administration. We work for the citizens of Rochester. And that's a very, very critical point. And never forget, and I'm grateful for having the barbershop. I'm grateful for having the church, because they never allow me to lose sight of that. Every day, Jefferson Avenue never allowed me to lose sight of that. 14605 never allowed me to lose sight of that, because I had to look them in the face after every one of these meetings. The next day, I had to go give an account to the people who put me in this seat. And I think that's very important. And it's very easy to get detached from that, especially if you live in a bubble. It's very easy to get detached from that. And you should never forget that. And I'm just glad that I'm able, when I left county legislature, I said there were 3 movies that I would sum up my career in at that time. And they're still the same three movies: The Good, the Bad, the Ugly, Distinguished Gentleman, and The Godfather. That's my advice, those three movies. But thank you. Thank the citizens of Rochester. Thank the staff is incredible, next to none, top notch, just incredible. But you know, I'm just grateful that I was able to leave on my own terms, and to be able to move to this next chapter. I've done 5 events in 90 days. That's just who I am. I have 3 more scheduled in the next 90 days. I'm on a plane at 4 o'clock. As soon as I leave here, me and my wife are taking a very needed trip. And after that, the work is going to continue, because the work is needed more now than ever before. And so thank my colleagues, and thank you, Lachey, and everyone for your kind words, and it's been a pleasure. But it's not over. I'm gonna continue to work. I'm just gonna be on the other side of this dais, holding you accountable to continue doing what's best for the citizens of Rochester in another capacity. So thank you again. Again, I can't thank my family enough for the sacrifice that they've made. And I bid all of you Godspeed, and the new council members coming in. I've talked to at least one of them. I bid them nothing but the best, and God bless them. And I'm sure, you know, our city is going to obviously continue to be moving forward. And thank you all for this time. God bless you.
All right. Well, with no further business, we stand adjourned. Happy holidays, everyone.